if you like the person that you are alone with, then you will never be lonely. And I think this is the entire message that I want to share this episode, that if you truly like yourself and who you are and what you do and who are you becoming, then you will never be lonely. And it doesn't matter if you are in a relationship or not.
Hello, and welcome to the Joy Link.
Hi, my name is Julia and this is Brian. And every week we meet to talk about topics in 3 different areas. And those areas are
Health, wealth, and relationships, all around joy.
because when you look at it, those are 3 things that you always want in life. That's it. Nothing else. It's that simple.
Hello, and welcome to the Joy Link. And we are talking about how to date yourself, how to enjoy yourself more in this episode. So welcome.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And I feel like on today's topic, I have a lot to share because I would say that for majority of my life, I was like the ultimate life of the party person that wasn't able to spend time alone. And I was always surrounded by people. And yeah, oh my God, I feel like my previous lifestyle was exhausting, but I've transitioned, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that you can learn over time, yet it can be quite scary as well, right? A lot of trust, a lot of faith. Okay, can I do this myself? A lot of worth issues can come up. Yet I definitely have the opposite experience. Like when growing up, I spent a ton of time by myself because when I was young, I just started drawing. And so I needed to be by myself and just sit there and just kind of dive in and be like, whoa, right? And just in this world of inspiration and creativity and, sometimes hours and hours by myself. And then my parents are like kicking me out of the house, right? Hey, man, go outside and play with your friends. Be like, okay, cool. And I like take the bike and, find them somewhere in the neighborhood and figure out how to hop in with them. So yeah, it's interesting. We have a bit of the different experience with that.
No, I feel like I was always connected or plugged in into something, right? Like I think I got my first smartphone when I was in high school and I was like texting a lot of hours. I think I had difficult time to be alone. And why we talk about it is because the Valentine's Day, it's right around the corner and this is the time of the year where a lot of people they start to question that, okay, am I good enough because I'm not in the relationship? Or there is a lot of, I think, loneliness it's coming up and all of that. And for me, I spent so many Valentine's Day alone as a single, and it's great. Some weren't because you it was also like this feelings of like, okay, why I don't have a partner coming up and feeling not good enough. But it's changed, and I recently listened, heard a quote: "If you like the person that you are alone with, then you will never be lonely." And I think this is the entire message that I want to share this episode, that if you truly like yourself and who you are and what you do and who are you becoming, then you will never be lonely. And it doesn't matter if you are in a relationship or not, because I've been lonely in the group of people. I felt lonely in the relationship. I felt lonely surrounded by my own family, but it's not the company that I was seeking. I was seeking the connection because I wasn't connected to myself, and therefore I wasn't able to connect on the level that I wish with others. And that's the entire secret to, for me it was, probably everybody has their own approach to it, but for me it was just kind of figuring out what I resonate with and what I want to resonate with more, and kind of going for it.
Yeah, it's a journey of exploration, right? And like you said, having that connection with yourself can make everything else just be okay, right? Because, of course, being like, I've had some of those experiences as well, like feeling alone amongst family or in a group of people that, there's no connection here. I'm actually single right now. So I don't know about the time of recording, but right, because we're recording a little bit ahead. Yet, yeah, also in my 30s, there was 8 years of being single. And
And
just,
how was it? How is it to be single in your 30s? Because I feel like this is the and this is the age where a lot of people they feel like this enormous pressure to start a family or like to go for family trips or like the couple trips or couple dinners that
yeah, I was in a relationship and had my son at 30. And then we were together another 2 years after that. And then I was single dad at 32 up until I was 40. So all of those 8 years single as, yeah,
a
with,
single dad.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Single and single dad. But, when kids are that small, I think he was 3. A lot of focus goes into performing that job well. And so it can be a bit of a distraction, right? It's like, okay, I'm like full-time dad when he's around. But then after that, you can get into work and then that can be your whole life. And so you can get a bit distracted in it and really miss that topic of what we're really talking about today is, dating yourself. So a lot of the time I was developing more businesses because everything's opening up on the internet like 10 years ago. And so I was putting things out on all these different platforms, just trying things out and seeing what resonated and what I had fun doing. And so I spent a lot of time creating, which,
Mm.
if you take a look at my story back of how I started it, well, when I was young, I was by myself and creating. So that was part of how I was dating myself, right? Yet the social aspect is so, so very important to connect with others and not only online, but in physical social gatherings. And that is something that I can definitely do more of. And like looking back on those 8 years, but most of the time, let's say if I was dating myself, I spent a ton of time meditating. Like
Mm.
I was just going more deeply in in those moments that I had. It's like, well, let's just see what else is in there, right? Because I'm having such a good time and it's feeling good and I'm clearing out of limiting beliefs and forgiving experiences of the past. And that's where I really enjoy exploring. It's like that inner world
Mm.
because I've had so much in my 20s. I was out traveling for like 5 years, just running around the planet. And that is how I enjoy myself as well, right? And so, okay, let's go somewhere we've never been before, where we have no idea how to speak the language, we don't know where to go, what to do, right? Just put ourselves in a very compromising, vulnerable place and just trust that everything's going to be okay and let's have some fun, right? And so I love the real boundary exploring areas. And so I've learned that I can do that in the external by getting into really weird places or, going inside as well.
And this is so interesting because I am in a relationship at the moment, and I would say that this is the best romantic relationship in my life, and I'm really happy. And also, I understand more myself and create something that there is a space for me to be me because I feel like I've been fed like these lies that when you're in the relationship you need to sacrifice a big part of yourself and you need to compromise or you need to fit into somebody else's agenda. Absolutely not. If you're doing it, it's okay. If you don't have to, I don't do that, and I'm not going to change that. And it's so interesting to just see it that like this years of, because also I've traveled the world, I lived in several countries. I did some experiences that they were really showing me that I can rely and trust on myself. And the truth is that at the moment, what a man can offer in my life is the respect and love. Anything else, I got this. And that's the moment when you are getting really magnetic and attractive for other people that they are kind of doing the same. And because yeah, like literally, like for me, it's a cherry on the top. Like the
Right.
having a partner in life, it's amazing and it's privilege and I'm grateful for, but it's a cherry on the cake. It's not even an icing of my life because I don't need to be completed. It's nice to co-share and co-create. Yeah, that's it. I think it adds the touch into life, but it's not something that I would spend my entire life striving for. So that's the difference. And also what I'm mentioning, because this month I'm going for 10 days silent meditation for this
Right.
vipassana, right? So I am in the relationship, but I still like have a lot of space, which I'm really grateful for, to explore and just see and sit with myself for 10 days without the phone. And yeah, like, oh my God, talk about dating yourself. Like, yeah, this is like, I can't believe that I'm doing it. Like, I'm a millennial. I've been born almost with a phone in my hand, like I
Right.
have never had like more than a day without the phone. Like, oh my gosh, even when I was in the rural area of Nepal, I had my phone on the top of Kilimanjaro. I think I still had my phone, so I've never exposed myself to those 10 days. But I feel like now I'm ready for it because I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And I'm curious what else is out there. What is it? How are my thoughts when I'm not like overstimulated? How I'm not working? How I'm not producing? How I am when I cannot read? Like I read every single day, or how I am when I cannot take notes.
Right.
How I am when I cannot share my ideas with others, being extroverted as I am. So I'm so interesting, but I feel like this is a huge part of dating yourself when you are interesting in elements of you, right? So, for example, like, oh, how I am, like as a person who would run a marathon, how I would be if I would got this, or how I would be as a business owner. So I feel like this what makes dating exciting with other people, like this curiosity about another person. But how about if we'll get more curious about ourselves and
Right.
how are we with the experiences that we want to experience or we feel drawn to?
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Julia, to get more curious about ourselves, right? Because in my experience, I've found that a lot of people in my life, like growing up, you said you're millennial, I'm Gen X. So we have that contrast in there, right? And a lot of people when I was growing up,
Life without the phone.
yeah, right. Yeah, there was black and white TVs. Like it was strange, right? VCRs came out. Yeah, VCRs came out, and then there was a Walkman, and it was like this whole thing in the CDs, and then right, right. But a lot of the moms I saw, there was like a trend at that time. A lot of the moms really identified with their kids, right? And their families and their husbands. And then as you go older and you see these parents of your friends, everyone's growing up and you see them going through something called this empty nest, stage in life where everyone's gone. The kids have grown up, they've gone to university or they have jobs, get married. And, there might even be a divorce in there because, hey, we're different people now and the kids are done or whatever. And finally, at age like 50, 60 or whatever, finally facing yourself and then taking the time to be curious, right, about yourself and what do I want to do? Now I have time for me. And so in my 20s, I kind of saw this going on already. And I'm like, I don't want to wait to give myself something 40, 50 years. That's, till I retire to travel. I go, oh, hell no, I'm going to travel now. So I worked for 4 years and then I took off. That allowed me to be incredibly curious about myself and everyone else, gave myself time to explore. I was traveling before Instagram was invented. And so part of me is like, oh man, I took a lot of pictures and there's some really classic moments. Yet, like I traveled so early that now I can't travel and post at the same time, right? Because you got
Mm.
kids and obligation responsibilities. Yet it was without a phone. Like I've done so much without a phone that my journey is more getting connected with the phone and putting my journey on the internet than the opposite way around. Right? Because there's been so much. It's like I'm 48. So there's been tons of life experience in there, and it's about sharing it, and that's the curious side for me is like, okay, well, I have this going on in my life, or I did do this, and let's share that. Let's get curious with how other people are interacting with those experiences that are incredibly unique that I've had. Right? It's different and also interesting to me as well.
Yeah, but this is so cool because I can tell that you know yourself very well and you are curious about yourself and these experiences with phone, without the phone. It doesn't matter. It just at the end of doesn't matter because you can travel around the world and don't post anything. It's not about posting. It's like about doing what you feel like. If you feel like sharing and showing, because I feel like when I was sharing some of my travels, I inspired others to do the same or just show them different perspective, right? Or for example, China or Nepal or
Right.
so some places that people would never go to, but I showed them how it is. For example, I was traveling to Russia with the Trans-Siberian train. Now it's probably out of the picture, right, to do so. So
Right.
the ones that could see it on my Instagram, well done. Otherwise, like you gotta wait it out. So that's the beauty. But I feel like for me, and it's also a little bit different because I feel like I was seeing my parents like arguing a lot. Like I was terrified to be in the relationship because I was terrified to end up. And of course, nobody wants to be in that position. But I see a lot of people being stuck in the relationships that they are in something that they feel like there is not a way out, there is no love, there is no kindness, there is no respect, and they have to be there, and there is this bitterness, and then there is this like mean jokes and all of that, and that was what I was observing my parents growing up, and I was like, nah, mm, 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 mm. Nah, not gonna do that. Like, I'm not interested in this. Like, I don't know what, but I was just not interested. And then I exposed myself to different, let's say, role models, right? Because I moved to States as an au pair and I could be a part of different family and I could see how it can be different and all of that. But it took a while to stop associating being in a relationship with being trapped in unhappy situation. And even my boyfriend, he was like at the beginning, Julia, I don't think you think that we're a part of the same team. So it took me a
Yeah.
long time to adjust to it. So I would say like this part of me dating myself and learning about myself and getting curious was a key part to be in a happy relationship now because I know my boundaries, I know what my needs are, and I know what I'm not willing to compromise on because I know my values as a person, and there are things that I can adjust to, but there are things that I will never compromise on.
Yeah, and that strength comes from the knowledge of self, from actually
Exactly.
spending time with yourself and figuring out what do I like, what do I don't like, what would I like more of, what would I like less of, and no one's got those answers for you but you. Just like nobody knows me like
Yeah.
like I do, right? There was a thought that came up a while back that was like, I go to sleep with myself and I wake up with myself, right? Even if there's someone next to you, right? You go to sleep by yourself and you wake up by yourself. That's kind of the way life really is. That's how the experience is. And so not being afraid of understanding oneself, right? Because when you delete everyone else in your whole life, well, there's just you. And so who am I? Answering those very important questions and really following what feels good. I think that's a really great way of figuring out how to date yourself is follow what feels good, right? And that's different for
Exactly.
everybody. It might
Yeah.
be going to the library or it might be going to a concert. Either one, whatever feels really good. And it could be also new experiences. That is so important. Like you were saying about being curious, like going back to when we were kids and just trying new things here and there and everywhere. And ooh, do I like this? No, well, let me try this. Let me try that.
Mm,
And not caring about if we're good at it at first, because it doesn't matter. It's how do I feel when I do this activity, right? And yeah, being curious and explorative. Those are some of the really big cornerstones of knowing yourself and feeling better in your own skin And then you can combine people with that, right? Once you know something, ooh, I want to do this, then I bet there's a group of people out there that are doing it every week, and you could just hop in with them.
Exactly. And I feel like this concept of that you will be happy when you are in the relationship was very misleading and untrue for me. And I think that's it. So there is no need to be in a relationship to be happy and fulfilled person in life. And that was just my story, that when I started to enjoy my company, that I do not care about either I do something alone or with others, then that's when the right people came along, because the people
Right.
that they showed up in my land, they think the same. And then you are just meeting on such a different level. You are not meeting from
Right.
an anxiety of like, okay, I need to fit in, or fear of missing out. You are just kind of meeting and co-creating together, which is
Right.
so much better than feeling like this neediness or like seeking the attention of the people that they are probably don't want to give you that attention anyway. So it's just so different. And even now I'm in the relationship, and I take myself for the dates. If I feel like it, I will take myself out for coffee or do something fun that I feel like doing it, because it's also honoring that you are an individual in the relationship, and it's not forcing someone to do exactly the same things that you want to do. Because I did not see like any agreement that if you enter in a relationship, then you need to become and do everything that another person is doing. It's not working like this. Not
Right.
in my life.
Right.
What society tells, maybe it's different, but I don't care. As long as I need to suck up the consequences and just do, then I don't care. Like I will do what I want to, because that's my life. And that's the power of me knowing how is it to date myself, knowing it's how that I can take care of myself, like living in the foreign country, let's say in China, not speaking barely Chinese, and I know that I can take care of myself and fix everything that needs to be fixed, and get home and eat and even thrive in the foreign environment. So,
Right. Being comfortable in those very explorative situations, well, that's what gives us that strength and more confidence to go out and do more and be more. And I live by the rule of I get to do whatever I want as long as I don't hurt myself and other people. Like it's a very simple one. And other than that, I got free reign to do whatever I want. And so, when as I'm traveling around, I figure out the big three in my life that I enjoy over everything else, right? And it's travel to festivals to meet up and party with my friends. And it's like whenever I put those three together, it was like always the most best experience. Yet that didn't stop me if there was only the two, right? If it was only, I'm going to travel to some festivals. And so I split with my ex, and I was a single dad, and it was the first within the first year of splitting up, it's like you kind of get back to yourself, right? It was 2010. And I had just decided I'm going to give myself more fun. And what do I have fun? I like to travel and go dancing. So, okay. My accountant called me up and said, Brian, you got to take it easy. You spent 10,000 on travel and you're not even through 6 months of the year. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it easy. Thanks, man. Right. Well, the funny part is I wasn't afraid to go to concerts and festivals and weekend festivals all by myself because I'd meet other people that were jamming and rocking and rolling too. And it's like, hey, we're here to have fun. Let's have some fun. So I would go to concerts and festivals and just be able to go and do whatever I want in this big sea of people. And that for me is a ton of freedom because anywhere that I would stop next to like a big DJ or this party, well, I can just be whoever I want. And then I would meet tons of people that eventually become friends along the way in that environment. And then nowadays we're just giving each other information. It's like, oh, here's my Facebook or whatever. And
mhm.
there was one time that I went to Ibiza and I was there for 10 days and I went to a party And I was just dancing by myself somewhere. And well, my brother had gone along with me, but he's off somewhere else. And I had met some really cool people. They were from Poland, right? We just walked into this club and there were 5, 6 people. And I walk in, I go, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Right. And I just walked up to these people. And now we're hanging out the rest of the night till like 5, 6 in the morning. And then we exchange each other's info. They were living in England and I was in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. And they call me up and say, "Brian," like a month later, and say, "Brian, there's this party, there's this festival in Amsterdam. We want to come and stay." I go, "Well, the house is yours. Let's go." And so that was like a month later, and like 5, 6 people just sleeping all on my floor, right? We're going out and having a great time. And then a month later after that, there was another party of the same festival, right? This dance festival. And that was in Mannheim, Germany. So I called them up and I go, "Hey guys, there's this party. You want to do the same festival in another country?" And they go, "Heck yeah, man." So we all got this hotel and we all just met up. And then a month later after that, they said, "Brian, there's this big party going on in Leeds, where they live, right in the UK." And I said, "Well, I'm coming in for that." And so there was this big festival, another big festival, and I ended up just by saying hi to some random people, like going out and partying almost by myself, right? Then I can have all these amazing wild experiences that took us like 4 different countries in 6 months, and it was just some of the biggest and most fun, and just a way to, yeah, date myself in the beginning,
Yeah.
right? I'm
But
gonna go
that's
out and
the
party.
power. That's the power of being comfortable in your own skin. That once you get out and you are open to be alone, then you meet the coolest people that they are also on the same wavelength. So definitely. And so if you are single the Valentine's Day, then don't worry. Just do something nice for yourself. And if you are in the relationship and you feel lonely, you still do something nice for yourself because life is too short. That's it. And if you would like to hang out with us, you can join the Thursday Live, both on Facebook and Instagram at 7 p.m. And also, if you want to get us a little Valentine gift, you can get us a coffee on buymecoffee.com slash the joy link. I think that's how it is. We will put it in the notes. And thank you so much for listening today.
Yeah, and be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. All right, ciao.
Thank you for listening. Bye.